All right, Seekers of the World, how are you? I'm doing really well. Excited to be into week 2 of this new work, right? This whole new phase of January, kicking it off and heading down the road towards our hopes and dreams. What do you think? I actually did my hair today. This is what I actually look like when I'm not a complete mess. I think a lot of us go through this as you get older. You just don't have time for it anymore. It's like, plus I live remotely. Like, I live like in the middle of nowhere. Nobody ever sees me unless I go to the gym or the store because I work from home. Like, I'm just always here. So, like, who cares? Other than maybe the internet. Oh, speaking of the internet, I got put in Facebook jail. Because I called a certain group of the population who prescribe to a certain level of bigotry in their religion as morons. And apparently Facebook doesn't like that. So, but that's life as a minority when you live in a society where, people who are openly oppressed by religions can't speak out against it because they see that as speaking out against and saying negative things about their religion, as opposed to saying, what is this? What is this bigotry? What is this hate? Why is this here in your institution? Right? Because we're not allowed to do that. And so that's what makes me like super crazy when people are like, well, if you can't say nothing nice, just don't say nothing at all. I don't work that way. Sorry, but if you are openly supporting bigotry against your fellow humans, like, I don't care where it is, if it's in your bingo group or your bowling group or your church group, I'm gonna call it out, right? Because it's not okay. It's really not okay. And it shocks me that people can't hear the difference between me saying, oh, by the way, that bigotry is unacceptable, because what they hear is, oh, your religion is unacceptable. Because the two are so intrinsically tied together that they can't hear the difference, right? So that's a problem. So anyways, I'm in Facebook jail for the next 30 days for calling a certain group of people who believe that 8.7 million species of animals made their way to the Middle East to catch a boat ride that was 510 feet long. Oh, and by the way, if you go and see the actual mock-up of Noah's Ark that exists somewhere in the Midwest, then you will actually see that there are dinosaurs on board the Ark. My brother took his kids to go and see that abomination and told them that that's the history of the world. My brother teaches them that that is truth, that that actually happened, that that is true history. Like, what? I'm sorry. Like, I don't get the value. In teaching your children open lies about how our planet works, science, things like that. Oh, and if you have an opportunity, watch Bill Nye the Science Guy's movie. It's really fascinating. He kind of inadvertently became this advocate for science just because of who he is, right? Bill Nye the Science Guy, right? But then like all of the religious right started coming out after him saying that what he believes in terms of science is actually an affront to their religion. And what was the most telling about the whole thing is at the end, they asked the two moderators, which is Bill Nye and then this other guy who built the Noah's Ark thing in the Midwest. And they asked the two of them, and they said, what would it take to change your mind, your point of view? And Bill Nye said, facts to the contrary, right? Being a scientist, when you see facts to the contrary, you change your mind, you change your position, right? Makes sense. But the other guy, the guy that built the Ark and put the dinosaurs in the cages on the Ark, that guy, he said nothing. Nothing would change his mind to his decision to identify the planet as being only 6,000 years old. There has been no evolution, and that, dinosaurs were here at one point 6,000 years ago, but then they died out. But, like, that's as far as he was willing to go, and nothing that you could tell him, right? So he's closed-minded, right? He's not open to new information. He's not open to, living in a world of abundance, right? And change and evolution and, just learning more. And then when we learn more, we do differently, right? He's closed off to that idea. So I just found that very interesting. Sorry for the little left turn here. Focus! Everybody focus. Okay. All right, so what are we doing today? We're back to the work, right? Very exciting. So I'm going to make my contacts today. How am I going to make my contacts today? Ooh, this is super exciting. Okay, so we started talking about it last week, but last week, right, we were just kind of getting in the rhythm of a new schedule, right? I didn't have a lot of expectations. I wasn't going to be super critical about myself, right? Because I'm trying something new, and it felt messy, and it's supposed to feel messy because I've never done it before. Well, at least not in this specific arena, right? I've done it with real estate, but figuring this out, so... Along those lines, so week 2, I'm just going to keep doing more of the same, right? I'm just going to keep making my contacts. And today I am teaching a quilt class. We're actually going to be doing this lovely quilt here behind me, which is called Stetson Cross. And so I'm going to be teaching that class today for Quilt Guild up in Ontario, Canada, not Ontario, California. That was so confusing to me when I first met. You can't have an Ontario as the name of a city. It's the name of a province. Hello. So I'm doing that. I'm teaching this class, Stetson Cross. The patterns for all these quilt patterns, if you're at all interested, if you're a quilter or want to learn how to quilt, are on my old website, quiltingcowboy.com. Right, and that you can download and buy all the patterns if you're interested. All my patterns do come with a video tutorial to walk you through step by step in case you're more of a visual learner. You can actually see me making it, right? So I'm teaching this class here in, 45 minutes. I'm like, where's my sewing machine? It's been so long. So I'm doing that. I'm super excited about that. And I really love this group. I've done a couple classes with them, and they're a really great group. So I'm excited of being with them. And then tonight, I'm doing what they call a trunk show. And it's an hour-long kind of talk that I give about my quilts, the process that I've gone through in making the quilts, because these are all my original designs. I designed these quilt patterns, right? And so I sell the patterns on my website, quiltingcowboy.com. But then I also do classes and stuff like that. So if you're at all still involved in that world, I can still certainly teach a class. We do it via Zoom. It's awesome. And then I'll be doing the show tonight. So that's what I have going on today. But the point of me saying all of this is that these people are an opportunity for me to get in front of a large group, right, and talk about what I have going on today and hopefully bring them on Team Dale, right? Because we know that they like my quilting gig, right? So maybe they'll like Team Dale too, because Team Dale is for everybody, not just quilters, right? And so I'm super excited about that, getting that going, maybe bringing some more people on Team Dale. I will definitely make my 10 contacts today because I'm going to be in front of dozens of people today just by teaching. So that's what I have going on today. We are going to be talking about this week pillars of business. Again, I'm not going to be implementing this stuff this week. What we're doing on week 2 is what we did last week, just going low and slow, right? Just getting the rhythm of the new schedule, right? It doesn't have to be complicated because I know heading into next week is going to be tricky. Anytime you start a new schedule, a new task, a new habit, week 3 gets super tricky. Because the first 2 weeks you can kind of power through, right? But by week 3, the end of week 3, you really start to feel the weight and the pressure of what you've changed in your life, right? Because now you're really operating out of your comfort zone, and you're doing so in such a way that is adding stress to your life, right? Because it's not a daily habit. That takes a good, 90 days in order for that to no longer be outside of your comfort zone, but inside your comfort zone. 90 days. So, first couple weeks, I'm just gonna be going and doing my thing, and I'm not gonna be critical with myself. I'm just going to, like we talked about last time, commit to the process, not the results. It's why I don't focus on, well, there's two reasons why I don't focus on getting to 100,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel within the next year, because I do not know if that is realistic. I do not know if that number is in alignment with my current habits. Because that's what I'm learning here, like we've talked about, the math, so that I understand a predictable future. If I continue to do my 10 calls a day, I'm curious. Will that lead me to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, yes or no? Especially if I'm adding in public speaking gigs, right? Oh, if anybody knows of any like public speaking gigs, teaching opportunities, podcasts, anywhere where I can be in front of people, classes, groups of people, online, anywhere, I need to be there. If you have an opportunity in mind for me, please message it to me. I need to be booking those gigs. Last week we didn't talk a lot about the big kind of targets, right, of the monthly speaking gig. Actually, I think it was a weekly speaking gig. No, it was a monthly. Anyways, I have to go back and double check my goals. But I need to start booking those, right, because that's in the target as far as my daily habits. So I am going to continue doing what I'm doing, and at the end of a year, well, that's an evaluation thing, because this is the thing. When you go and hire a new coach, if they're not in your specific, market and industry, they may not have the exact numbers themselves. Us being in real estate and having studied coaching real estate, we know the numbers. So that becomes a far more predictable thing, right? We talked about that 300 contact to sale ratio. Well, I'm still figuring that out because I don't know this industry. I don't know what it takes in order to get 100,000 subscribers. So I put that on my vision board as a goal. And then what do? Right? So when we're manifesting really big new stuff, what do? First step, get it out of your head and onto paper. That's why a vision board works. That's the only step, and the universe rewards that greatly. But until you get it out of your head, there's nothing in the physical plane in which we live, in which you're making that ask for the universe to work with, right? As soon as we get it out of our head, put it down on paper, put it into a plan, put it on a vision board, now the universe has something to work with, right? So they start to align all of that, and then you add gratitude on top of that. Why do we do that? We add gratitude on top of that vision on our vision board to say to the universe, thank you. Thank you for making this reality come true for me. Thank you. Thank you for providing 100,000 people in the next year who are willing to come on Team Dale, who see value in what it is that I'm trying to do by expanding our global consciousness so that we can try and restore this planet to a more loving vibe, right? So we give gratitude to that. We layer on the gratitude on top of the thing that we are hoping to manifest. That gratitude says to the universe, thank you for something that's not yet done. So the universe looks at that and says, they're thanking me for something that isn't done yet. I have a responsibility, a job, energetically, to make those things come true, right? So, gratitude in a way says, this is done and I'm grateful for it, thank you, right? And so the universe steps in and starts to align those things because you're thanking them for something that hasn't occurred yet. So the universe feels like, oh, there's an error there. I skipped over a step. They're thanking me for something that's not yet done. Let me get that done. It's, I think, just a lovely way to look at it. So that's what I'm doing now. Like I said, when you hire a coach, they know their numbers. I'm still very much learning my numbers. Look at last week, right? I was way off. I thought I'd be coming in here getting 1 for 1. This would just be a slam dunk. Pick up the phone. Hey, will you, click on this link and just hit subscribe, right? Not so easy, so I found out. Again, I moved the needle by, I don't know, was it 25 new subscribers or something like that? I went from 659 to 680 something. So anyways, I was, happy, I was satisfied with that, but there's information there in those numbers that I need to go through and understand. Because if we're trying to build a predictable future, I need to know the numbers that says, I do this many contacts, I will get this many new subscribers. And it's just a math thing. It's just figuring that out. So that's what we're doing. We're continuing to do that this week. We'll just keep trucking along on our goals, right? And keep doing the work. I'm not there yet as far as being totally comfortable with this new schedule yet. I'm not there at all. But I will be in 90 days. So this is where we are. Commit to the process of this new schedule and not the outcome. Okay? That's where we're going to be this week. Thank you for being on Team Dale. I always think that you are awesome. Thank you so much. You always make me so happy, right? I love hearing from you all. And, everyone should start receiving their Team Dale buttons soon. When you get one, post it on social media using the hashtag Team Dale. Okay? I would really appreciate that. If you have the opportunity, please share my videos. I need you to help me, right, make this a reality so that when my books come out, there's a audience here, right, that's ready for it. And we're going to start talking about the books really soon, okay? So watch for that. Don't look for me on Facebook for the next month because I'm in prison. Yay! I'm like, oh, sweetie, don't worry about it. I've done some of my best work in prison. She has lived. Lots of fun stories. Maybe we'll get to them anyways. They're going to be in the book. People are going to find out anyway. So here we go. Talk to you soon. Bye.